it's the largest location we've ever done. And it was absolutely beautiful. And the activity that happened there uh, really is kind of next level for us. So I think people really, really like that.
What's up, everyone? Tanya here with PopCulture.com, and I'm thrilled to welcome back paranormal investigator Steve Gonsalves of the iconic Ghost Hunter, streaming exclusively on Discovery Plus. Steve, it's so great to talk with you again. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
I'm very well. We're back for another season of Ghost Hunters premiering October 1st, where you reunite with Amy Bruni, Adam Berry, and Chris Williams, which is so much fun. It's going to be very nostalgic for the viewers, I'm sure of it. What's it like re-teaming with them after all this time?
It's great. Anytime we get to work with Amy and Adam and even Chris Williams on this season, Dustin and some other people, it's great. Amy and Adam, they're family, obviously. We've known them for so long, very close friends. They investigate with a very similar methodology. So great. It's always a lot of fun. We have a blast.
Yeah. And you guys are revisiting the Pensacola Lighthouse, a site that was investigated by the TAPS team in 2009, and it is the most haunted on the Gulf Coast. So I'm just wondering, like, what made this location the perfect spot to reunite with the team 13 years later?
The first time that the team went there, Tango and I weren't on that investigation. We were filming a show called Ghost Hunters Academy.
Yes.
We were doing that, and so we weren't able, sadly, to make it. So when the opportunity came, that the lighthouse reached out and said, we're having a lot of things happening, things that we think are stemming from possibly a newer section. They don't really know why. That they think that the increase was enough that they wanted to have it re-investigated, increase in activity. So we did, and we needed a few extra hands. So who not better to call than, of course, Amy, Adam, and people we know and trust. And what's nice about that is sometimes people aren't quite familiar with the equipment and different things. And you say to Amy, to Adam, to Dustin, to Chris, hey, we need a camera in this area. We need this covered. We need to put MF here. They know it, exactly what to do, and it's great.
Yeah. You guys had like so much chemistry. Like you guys already are such good friends. So like even when you're doing these scenes together, like all these like investigations, like you guys exactly know what to hit and what to do, which is obviously testament to the team. You guys are great. But there are some very disturbing claims from the staff and tourists with the events escalating, and you've mentioned them. And like there's like the neck and the hair being touched and the feeling of being scratched and the noises and the voices, and it's always very creepy. But I'm wondering, like, what was it like, for all of you to like go back to this place? I know you didn't get to do this before, but like when you go to a location like this, does it ever like kind of supersede like another location? Like, oh, this is much scarier than the last one I've been to, or are they all sort of the same?
No, that they all are different for sure. Some aren't scary at all. The phenomena may have some precursors where you kind of know when something may happen, and sometimes it just jumps out at you, and it can be quite scary and startling. But for the most part, each case has its own, for lack of a better word, vibe to it. Sometimes they can be quite scary, not scary like you want to run out of the place, but scary because things are happening that you don't quite expect. You don't know when it's going to happen. It happens right in front of you. It's loud, or something moves and it startles you. So that can be, quite scary. So the cases when you're dealing with some really dark, not necessarily dark activity or dark phenomena, but just dark history, murders, things of just that you don't really want to be, thinking about for very long. Those places are always, you can feel that, and not in a sense of, but you can just, it just makes you feel, puts you in a bit of a depression. Those places do feel a little bit different. But other than that, I can't really think of, an instance where, hey, all of these certain types of cases have the same sort of intensity or outcome. Because sometimes places that are supposedly really, really active, we're there for a week or two, and there's not so much. Sometimes things are just happening all the time. It's always different,
Yeah.
which
And
keeps it fun.
yeah, it does. And that the interesting thing was, the activity heightened. So I'm wondering, like, us watching from the outside in, because we don't know these things, but like what causes, like, what are some of the reasons for things to heighten? Like, why does that happen?
There could be a lot of different things, and you really have to look into what we try to do anyway is look at different patterns that may have changed, and it could be something as simple as all of a sudden they're allowing X amount of more people to go through the buildings. Naturally, just the stories of the claims will naturally just increase because there's more people going through. Other times, perhaps they've acquired an item or something, and now it's introduced a new phenomena. Sometimes we need to keep in mind that we're not necessarily aware of time and space. What is just a few minutes here may be much longer to them, or what is just a long time to us here could just be a really a quick moment to that we really don't. So a lot of times here we think of time as very much linear, and we follow the structure, and perhaps they don't have to, or they don't, and so we may say here, oh gosh, nothing's really happened in quite some time, a month or so, we don't know, but to the phenomena, no time has passed at all. It's just happening. So a lot of things, a lot of different variables. We try to look at a pattern as to why the increase in activity would happen. I don't want to tell you exactly why at this, and spoil it for you.
Yeah.
But sometimes it is, discovering a new area. When we investigated Fort Mifflin, say, a part of the increase in activity had to do with, finding a new casemate in the ground that they didn't know was there, and so now they're having all these new, perhaps that not unleashed, that's a terrible word to use, but maybe started something there may have worked as a trigger.
Yeah. Yeah, there is a moment, I won't spoil it either, because it's a very fun episode. It's all these investigations were always so very enlightening. Like, there's so many things to learn. But you and Jason experienced a lot of activity with the real-time audio popping up. And that was like a whole thing where I was like, every couple of minutes, I think you guys were experiencing something. And so I'm wondering, like, what goes through your mind when this much activity, especially these are intelligent hauntings, like they happen all at once. Like, it was very quick. Like, people, when everybody starts watching it, they will see what I mean. Like, it is so fun to watch. But please go ahead.
Yeah, that's really exciting, actually, when things are happening and they're happening quickly, and it gets even more exciting when it's happening to multiple teams, and it's really, really awesome. But your brain starts to not get overwhelmed, but as an investigator, you want to know, where is your attention best focused?
Right.
What's going to get you the best. We have clients say that we need to answer to, quite honestly. We are investigating for them, trying to provide help in a certain way, and we have to think of all these things, like what is going to get us these answers they're looking for, what's going to further the field, our field of the paranormal the best. We have to, and so that you start thinking about that, and then sometimes you just have to cut all of that away and say, okay, what's happening here in the moment. But I think without really thinking about it, we just automatically implement perhaps a subconscious triage type of system where we're just like, okay, intelligent haunting takes precedent because we can maybe have direct communication and figure some things out. Let's go there. But there's a chance if we go there, it may say, hey, what are you guys doing? Get out of here. And it's going to stop. So maybe we should focus, so we try to figure it out that way. It happens quick, but it's really exciting. That's really fun when that happens. It's like rush hour at a restaurant or something.
Yeah, it's so much fun. I know that the fans, like, those are moments I feel like everyone will be like on the edge of their seat, just wondering like what's going to happen. But that is so much fun. I know the next episode that's premiering in October is the one you guys get to investigate with Olympic medalist Johnny Weir. And I'm wondering, like, what was it like investigating with him? Like, he seemed like he was like gung-ho. He was like right in there. He was getting in there with you guys and investigating. It was so much fun to watch that.
He was, yeah. He was definitely ready to go in. He is exactly what you would think.
Mhm.
He was awesome, super cool to be around, engaging, great conversation. He was a good investigator, had really sharp questions to ask. I'll be honest, he did get scared quite a bit. That stuff was a bit frightening to him, and he
Yeah.
did want to confront it.
Uh-huh.
But apparently he has been so intrigued for quite some time and has followed our work for quite some time and has always, had that, if there ever could be a way, and we heard that. We're always welcoming, because you get a different perspective on things.
Mhm.
And of course, it's a real investigation. So we need to be controlled, you're not going to, but he was a lot of fun to be around. And I'm glad he joined us. Yeah, I think people who like that episode, that excitement that he has for what we do as not just what we do as TAPS, but the field, paranormal research. He's really intrigued by it. And I wouldn't be surprised if he starts some investigating on his own. He was really looking for a way to sort of break into that.
Yeah. And the location, like I want to talk about the location for a bit before I do go back to like, the celebrity angle of things. But the location for this one was a very interesting one because it's very dark. And we were talking about some of the dark histories behind some of these locations. And this one, it was, bloodied by the Revolutionary War. There's like some wild claims that follow this too. And I'm wondering, like, just to tease, fans and audiences, what can they expect from this investigation? Because it is like in 2-3 weeks that we're going to be able to watch it. But anything that you can tease us about it.
Yeah, the history is, quite important to what we do. And this one did have a dark background, and what's nice about that is you're able to, I mean, not nice, there's nothing nice about
Yeah.
it. There really isn't. But
Mhm.
as an investigator, what's useful about that, I should say, is that it gives you a lot of ammunition. You have a lot of emotions to work with in terms of trying to build a rapport. We know what you went through. You try to offer us not condolence, 'cause you don't really know what they went through. Nobody knows what anyone's inner sort of struggle is, wholeheartedly. And you don't want to, even though you're dealing with a ghost or someone who may not even be able to hear you, you still don't want to, just pretend. You try to really connect, and that it does help knowing what happened in that grisly, dark past, whether it be murder, betrayal, cheating. We deal with that, where, and
Mhm.
it's not just cheating spouse, it can be business partners, it can be all kinds of stuff. You cheat the deal, that builds a resentment that can hold. And we do see that in a lot of different things, but it's utilizing the right techniques. And I think we did at that location. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Is there an episode this season that you cannot wait for fans to watch? Because I know that there's always like one that stand out for everybody. And so is there one that stands out for you?
Y- Yeah, there's one that we actually just filmed a few weeks ago.
Okay.
I can't say the exact location
Mhm.
yet because we literally just finished it.
Uh-huh.
And it will be for this season.
Mhm.
It's the largest location we've ever done. And it was absolutely beautiful. And the activity that happened there uh, really is kind of next level for us. So I think people really like that one.
That's so much fun. So, I do want to talk about a little bit of the celebrity angle of things because I know that you had Johnny Weir and you guys did investigate with the late great Meatloaf, and that was a phenomenal episode as well. And so I'm wondering, like, would you ever want to bring on maybe like a celebrity to the show? Like, I know you teamed up with Drew Barrymore on her show to do like a little segment, which was very fun. I thought it was so cute. Is there anybody that you want to bring on for an investigation, and whereabouts would you want to take them?
We would, of course, we're always open, and we'd take them, I think, anywhere that, in terms of where I would like to take them. If
Mhm.
it was, say, just as an investigation, probably an asylum or somewhere where, the chance of activity and experiencing things and be able to see that world is a bit higher. I don't know if I would bring them into a private residence that's a very, and of course,
Yeah.
it's a bit of a personal, because we do a lot of private residences that, of course, they don't want,
Mm.
television cameras in their
Yeah.
house, and so they may not want celebrities, and
Mm.
we try to keep those teams very, very small. But I'd say a location with a high frequency of activity would be a good spot. And there are a lot of, any one of Dan Aykroyd, any of those guys that were for those movies that put a lot of us in,
Mhm.
but we've had a lot of celebrities, and we have some coming on this season. A few, I don't think they really want us to name just yet, because if you didn't get their names, and they probably don't,
Yes.
so there are a few, that I
Okay.
think people will be like, oh wow, that's really cool. But there always has to be, a reason. It can't just be, hey, come join us for the fun of it. So it would be somebody who has followed our work for many, many years, and who loves the field, who want to maybe even get into the field their own, that sort of thing. So a lot of fun.
Yeah. Before I let you go, our chats are always so enlightening. I love them. And I think I'm always learning something from you. And I'm sure the audience is too. Has there ever been a location that spooked you so much that left you still baffled, and you're still baffled about it today?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
There've been a few locations like that. There was one on the first season of or I shouldn't say the last season of Ghost Hunters, but this, and the last season of Ghost Hunters, where we were communicating with somebody quite directly, and they were under the impression that something, or that people had a certain thought about how they had passed
Mm.
here, the living, when actually they had passed quite differently. They had, the people in the living, what we call the physical world, thought that she had taken her own life, and there's a good chance that she didn't. We were able to, pass that message, and to me, that you can't take that sort of thing lightly. That's quite a weight. So I think about that one quite often. There are a lot that still linger. You think of the people too. The people that have passed, and who you deal with. There's a case where we were dealing with a 14-year-old teenager, a young girl, and she passed away in her sleep. And I still think of that every, maybe even once or twice a week, I'd say. And it's been a few years, so those things really do stay with you for quite some time.
Yeah.
And that's not a good or a bad thing. But it's part of our journey here, our world, and what we do, dealing with the dead, I guess, and the living.
Yeah, but you guys are doing a great job helping people, and I think it's bringing so much peace to so many families, and people who need it right now. But Steve, thank you so much for your time. It's always so great talking to you. I'm excited for the new season of Ghost Hunters, which premieres October 1st on Discovery Plus. Guys, for more with Ghost Hunters and the TAPS team, stay tuned to popculture.com for the latest.